our thought, please explain the concept of focused meditation on a process or object, not a distracted mind, but at the same time not empty.
Okay, so the funny part, Doug, is whatever process, focus, contemplation, object is arising or you are bringing to the foreground is always happening in a background of open, empty space. So whatever you are bringing to the foreground is only foreground because mind is always open, empty, hospitable, available. And you being present to that is just like imagining like you're at a dinner party and you're having a scintillating conversation with someone and you can hear everything going on in the background, but you're paying attention. You are attending to this scintillating conversation. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's one way of practicing. Imagine concentrating or attending to on an axis. So imagine like the x-axis of meditation is I'm paying attention to my breath or this contemplation or this teaching or this chant. All the way from there to I am just being present, open, and empty with no choice and no volition, and I am the space where everything arises. And it's all great. And you'll find yourself somewhere along that axis every single sit. And everywhere along that axis, including the extremes, where you have what are called, one way of understanding the jhanas, at one end, and then dzogchen, kind of do nothing, shikantaza meditation at the other end. Doug, you're an artist, so these are all just colors in your palette. So I'll leave it to you to determine where you are in a specific work that you're making. So feel free to use it at your discretion. Thank you, great question. I think I'm going to say, I'm so sorry, but I think I'm going to say that's it, because I've been told, when you guys bring these great questions and comments, I get a little chatty. So I'm going to, and I say I've been told, meaning I get told that a lot. So, so we're gonna sit some more. So, like I just told Doug, imagine imagine like a graph, right? And I was terrible at math, but I've heard there are things called graphs, and there's like a line and a line. So imagine this line being, on one end being, I have decided that I'm going to pay attention to the breath. And when I notice that my mind is wandering, I'm going to come back to the breath. And every time I wander, I'm going to come back. And I'm building that loop, that neural loop. Okay? So we're going to do like a guided settling, like kind of, give you some prompts and think about, scan the body with your awareness and then settle on the breath. And when you get to that point, you can basically decide, I'm going to do like this, which the terminology for that would be shamatha or samadhi type meditation, where you are really using your attention like a muscle, and you're going to stay right there. The other end is you're literally just going to be open and present. And if you catch yourself doing something like that, or if you catch yourself thinking about the email you have to send tonight, or the bill you have to pay, you're going to just let it go. You're not going to bring yourself to an object like over here. You're just going to drop it. Like a good puppy. Drop it, and you're just going to breathe and just rest. Okay? So that's the kind of, this is the kind of spectrum I want to invite you guys to kind of explore. And there's tons of wiggle room in here. I mean, we're talking about things like attention, awareness, concentration, sensory clarity. This is like the most slippery things in the universe, and I'm using English to describe it. But, you can kind of get a feel for it. So anywhere between when Franz says, gather your attention on the breath and follow each breath, then I'm going to sit on the breath like I have a deck chair in front of the waves, and each breath is a wave, and I'm going to follow it in and follow it out. And when my mind wanders, I'm going to come back, come home, follow it in, follow it out. That's one end. And the other end is, I'm literally just going to sit. I'm going to be present to whatever touches my awareness. For some of us, this is a little kind of airy-fairy, a little floaty, a little hard to kind of lock in. And for some of us, our mind bucks under the pressure. So I invite you to explore, figure out where you are, where you like to be right now on this spectrum. And start to be that scientist, start to be that artist. This is your mind. No Buddha, no teacher, no guru, no neuroscientist knows your mind like you. Okay?